Hello and welcome to Radio Epic number 5, and today we have some things to talk about, but we have some new people back, some old people here, so let's start off with bnelly. Hey, welcome back, bnelly.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Well, we had a lot of people on last week, but it's very good to get people back on here. And next we have Doc Shenanigans. How you doing, Doc?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's Saturday night again, and I'm recording another episode number 5. So, I'm doing very, very well. So, next we have someone who has not been on the podcast before, and his name is Grayhoodie. Gray, how are you doing? How did you come into Epic, and what do you generally do when you play Destiny?
Thanks ACB. Thanks for having me, guys. Again, Grayhoodie. I've been playing since beta. Pretty much been solo queuing up till now. But haven't really done any of the endgame activities up until recently when I stumbled across the 100 and in particular Epic. And you guys have finally been broadening my horizon, getting me involved in some of the endgame activities just in time for Destiny 2.
Well, good. That seems to be essentially the story for almost everybody in Epic right now is, hey, I've been playing for a long time and then eventually found Epic. So, the first thing we need to talk about is This Week at Bungie, which really didn't have anything. The funny part is if you read all the way at the bottom, even Deej says at the bottom there's really not much, but it brings to our attention Iron Banner Mayhem Clash.
I don't know what to even think about that. I was just gonna say it'll be interesting though.
It's near the end of the cycle, so they're coming up with new things. They're saying, "Oh, we're gonna have some fun." We're now in the second week of rollovers, so I think week number 6 of Age of Triumphs. We'll be week number 7, I think, next week. Anyways, so they're saying, okay, we're getting away from that. People are starting to get in the lull again, and I think the week after that is going to be the reveal. So I guess we're gonna have a fun week, and then the week after that. The only thing I can see with this is any time that I play Mayhem Clash, I play it very, very casually. And I know that Iron Banner is technically in game, so there are going to be a lot of teams and a lot of solo players playing this very casually, and then there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to do the complete opposite. So I'm interested to see with a team how much that team dynamic is going to help even more than a normal Iron Banner situation.
It'll be different, I think, just because you kind of expect it to be a little more competitive, and with all of the crazy bullshit that happens in Mayhem, I expect there to be a little bit more saltiness than usual.
Well, and the Iron Banner connections in general, how they generally tend to chug a little bit. It's going to be lots of salt and tears. For me personally, I plan on running Defender Titan with Blessings. And then I think it's the Gift of the Void. So all of my friends who are going to be running Golden Gun or Stormcaller or something are going to have orbs all over the place. Plus, I'm going to be running Armamentarium with double suppressor grenades. I know there are a lot of teams out there who are going to run just like 6 suppressor titans and just have a lot of fun. But it's going to be very interesting. I know I've got a game with Joe, who is going to be running Defender with me. And so whoever plays with this is going to get a ton of orbs, but they're going to have some Defenders. It's just going to be very interesting to see who goes in with a strategy and just who goes in willy-nilly. I'm very excited for this, personally.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun. I think I always enjoy Mayhem when it comes around.
Gray, you have any thoughts on Mayhem?
Personally, just not a fan. I mean, it pretty much, my opinion, mostly takes gunplay out of the picture.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
It does. It does.
I think that's what kind of brings about, like, it's that fun game mode type that nobody plays seriously in, but, like, it's just a whole lot of fun to just go in with a team and just, like, come up with unrealistic strategies that you wouldn't necessarily do in like like normal Iron Banner or like Trials or anything like that. But you just go in basically like, alright, super's up, gotta use it, not gonna like save it, just use it, 30 seconds later it's up again, I think it'll be interesting, and I think with everything they've been doing now with Age of Triumph, it'll be, I guess just a fun thing to do and kind of see what happens before, we start getting into Destiny 2 and stuff. So I'm kind of excited for it, but at the same time, we'll see how it
It'll
goes.
be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, I've always had a soft spot for Iron Banner as a solo queue guy. I mean, because that's what got me max light. I mean, everything I did was waiting for Iron Banner to come around once a month so I could bring my light level up. And so it's always got a place in my heart, but now it's kind of, we're getting near the end there. There's not really any new weapons coming out. It's just old hat at this point. Maybe Mayhem Clash will turn this around a little bit, but it's not Control, so I'm not a fan. To be an originalist.
Well, with the year of Control, I mean, you kind of get used to that game type. But if you said we're getting around this old hat, I think that's why they're doing this. Because for me personally, if it was just another Supremacy or another Control Iron Banner, I would do my one character up to rank 5 and I'd be done. Personally, for me, and I like this game mode, and it's going to be something new and fun, so I think I'm going to grind out all 3 characters this time. I know that most people won't, but I'm going to grind out all 3 of the characters just because it's something different, completely different from what we've had in the past. And in year 1, I enjoyed Iron Banner because, like you said, I was able to hit rank 32 on the Dark Below, or level 32 on the Dark Below because of Iron Banner. And so I have a soft spot for it too. But personally, it's like an infusion. What they're trying to infuse the old stuff back in, and so maybe I'm just a little bit more optimistic about it than most people are. But it's going to be real fun, and I'm going to play a lot of games of it next week.
You touched on the team aspect of it, and that's what I'll be looking forward to. That'll be kind of a new thing for me. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm a little pessimistic now, but once I get into it, we'll see.
I was gonna say, see, you run 6 boy dancers and call it good, and it's viable, everything's viable in Mayhem Clash. It doesn't matter what it is, I mean, you can run 6 boy dancers, you could run 6 Sun Singer Warlocks, it's like you could just do whatever you want to do and it works. You don't have to worry about, my ult's not up, that kind of thing. It's like, sure, just use it and, maybe kill a guy and your super's back. And then you can use it again. I think it's, like I said, it's kind of cool that they're doing something fun with Iron Banner instead of the normal seriousness that comes around with it.
It's also kind of a nice way to practice with your supers to even get a little bit better at those, since you don't have to wait for like 5 minutes to actually get them out.
Well, one good thing about it too is for everyone listening on here who is part of the Epic Slack, you're going to see people asking you every night to join a game. So even if you don't join on the 100 or don't join an LFG group, there's a ton of people on here specifically for Gray and a couple of the other newer members. So you'll definitely be able to find a group of at least 4 every single night this week. Maybe not Monday, but generally Tuesday through Sunday is I think that the team aspect is what's going to make this fun. Is if you go in there solo queue this time, may not be as fun as it could be. And I know everyone says you always want to find a team, but specifically for this one, just because you're going to be dying a lot, and if you can have some chat going, if you can maybe make some jokes, have some fun, you're not going to realize that you're dying to a Nova Bomb every 45 seconds or so. So, anyways. All right, well, that's pretty much the news for this week at Bungie. We talked about it a little bit last week, but on the 18th of May, they're doing the gameplay reveal, and then they're pulling in news reporters, they're pulling in Twitch streamers, they're pulling in YouTube stars and everyone who kind of is very big or will report on this. And the more I hear about it, the more I am getting excited about the 18th and a little bit beyond that because we're going to be able to see specific content creators' takes on it. Um, are y'all pretty much in the same boat as me? Are y'all tempering your expectations? Gray, I would like to hear your thoughts on the gameplay reveal as well. Are y'all pretty much the same boat y'all been in the last couple of weeks, or any excitement building closer, or what's up, guys, with that?
I mean, I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we've been pretty much playing Destiny nonstop and letting all these other games pile up on my hard drive because I can't get away from Destiny. So I want more. I'm looking forward to Destiny 2. I just hope I hope they do a good job.
Anything specific you want to see with this reveal?
I want to get a feel of what the gameplay is going to be, but most specifically how it's going to be different, well, and for that matter, how it's going to be the same, right? Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. It's a blank slate right now. Are they just going to stick with the formula, or are they going to introduce some stuff that's either going to make us happy or upset?
Okay, well, so you're pretty much just waiting for their Doc or bnelly, any new hype, or y'all just pretty much sitting pretty until we're.
I've been pretty static for the most part. Just, there's definitely some content creators out there that I'd like to see what they think of it. But yeah, still just riding the hype train.
I guess we'll just have to wait. But I'm going to talk about one thing that I heard or saw in Slack chat this week that I think would be epic. And yes, I did. Anyways, whatever. So somebody mentioned clan ships. Somebody mentioned about a way that they could rework the orbit and the like essentially where the tower was, where people said your social space should be part of patrol. So you roll up in the social space, you like drop off, you can't shoot anything. You're now loaded into a tower instance, but it's during the social space. You hop on your Sparrow, bolt out the other side, and now you can shoot things again, which I agreed with that. And then they said your tower kind of situation a little bit could then be in your ship in space, make your ships a little bit bigger. If we still have ships, because who knows, they may have been destroyed. Anyways, so your ship in space, you get to walk around and like view your achievements, get access to your vault, get access to the bounty boards, maybe just the Vanguard bounty boards, but to a bounty board. And then, so we're talking about that, and then, this is all speculation. This is all like, hey, this would be awesome. Then somebody said, what if there was a clan ship or a fire team ship? If you're in a fire team, you're automatically put into one vehicle. And I thought that was cool. And then somebody said, what if you could see the ships coming in for a multiplayer game, not just yours, but your enemies? So you see like 6 ships coming in, okay, everyone's solo queuing, and then on the other side you see one massive ship roll over the top, and it's the entire enemy team. I think that would be awesome, and I know this is all stuff that potentially won't be in there, but we had a very long and detailed conversation about essentially clan ships or fire team ships. I just wanted to say that should be implemented into the game.
I think that'd be a good idea, especially for helping, again, kind of solo queue players who don't get into stuff like the 100 or LFG or anything. You join a Bungie clan, then you just kind of get directed into a ship with a bunch of other people that you probably wouldn't otherwise join into a game with.
And it would give people incentive to join a group, even if it's a small group, so they, hey, look, I'm in this group of 3, but now we have this giant ship. I don't know. It's just a thought that I had. I thought it would be very cool, and we had a very hearty discussion about it this week, and it stuck with me.
I mean, I like the idea. Some other games that I've played have social spaces akin to like a clan ship. Where you can like see clan members and, like you can see them doing different things inside that space. I think it'd be kind of cool, especially like with how big Epic is. I mean, you potentially could see that place just filled with people, almost all the time, I would think. And so it'd be kind of cool because you could just like walk around and like, you know, maybe you could hit up like new people or people you've never met before or talk to and like be like, hey, let's go raid or let's go, you know, do strikes or whatever they have in the game. Um, and just being able to do like all the normal stuff at the tower, but then just like having a space that, you know, is for your clan. You know, I don't think it'd happen, but you know, like maybe you could decorate it or, you know, if like your clan does so many things together or whatever, you know, like they do different activities together. They like get points and maybe you can upgrade the ship to like make it look cooler or something. I don't know. Just thoughts, but I think it'd be cool just to have that base. Like, this is the clan epic ship. Like, it's awesome. There's 500 people walking around. You know, that kind of thing. That'd be cool.
The thing about us specifically is you would have to be able to have the associated clans interact as well, or we would be segmented for in 100, you know. But for me, I know there are definitely Epic 2 people who are not on Slack who are, you know, they're on the 100, but they just play whenever they get onto. And there are definitely some Epic 2 people that I haven't even met. And not to mention the other Epic 1 and then Epic 3 is filling up, I think. And so just all the people that I've not spoken to or chatted with at all who are part of Epic would be fantastic to see. I mean, it's just, and I know that most people's hype is kind of static. And I know that a lot of these things that people are guessing won't be added into the game. But for me, I get more and more excited the more I think about what could be there. And this was just a great idea that I thought that we should put out there. So just think about it. Even if it's not there, how cool would it be? And that way you can keep excited about it. I guess I'm just saying, keep the conversation up. That's what we're doing. We're just
I mean, it's like what both of you are saying essentially is pointing out the fact that it'd be nice if there was some more socially immersive spaces. I mean, the tower really doesn't cut it as it stands, and that's the social space. It would be nice to see that expanded a little bit and make it a little more social.
Yeah, part of the issue with that too is that the tower's just kind of small. You got 16 people on there, probably never even seen any of them before, and that kind of, you know.
I was gonna say, just to go along with that, you know, like, I myself never played it, but like World of Warcraft, you know, like supposedly they had towns you could just roll into and there's just people everywhere. And I mean, like, in a lot of other like MMO style games and RPG games like that, you know, you can roll into a social space and there's just, you can trade with people. I don't think that'll be in this game, but you know, you could trade with people, you could talk to people, like find raid groups. I mean, like, I think if that's what they kind of wanted Destiny to be, is like an MMO of some sort, I think they need more social space, and I agree, the tower doesn't cut it. It's just not appealing enough to me. It was like cool at first, like as a starting point, but like, as the game progresses, there should be more.
Well,
you know?
What I was saying at the beginning of that too is these social spaces need to be tied into the patrol areas. In some cases, maybe there's a specific patrol area that doesn't make sense to have a social space out there. But for example, we're on Earth. We've been exiled. We have a new kind of gathering place, and then we go and patrol a different area of Earth right now that the Cabal are kind of folding into after they destroy the tower. To me, also, because of the way that because of the way that Destiny is set up, where it's sort of instance. I don't know if they'll do this again, but if they instance it again, you could be inside of the tower area, drive out into the next area, and kind of sit in that first patrol area. Then everyone who loads into that specific tower or specific social space and leaves has a chance to get into your kind of patrol. And so it wouldn't be people just specifically picking Cosmodrome Patrol and then driving over to the lookout or whatever, and then, they happen to get in your instance after they did those 3 steps. It would eliminate some of those steps, so people would run into each other a lot more. Yes, people jump in the tower and try to join your game, or you might try to talk to somebody in the tower, But if the world and the tower were the same thing, more people would hit each other. And now with everything being on next gen, hopefully more than 16 people can be in the tower or the social space at the same time. So like a 30 person or 32 person dance party in the social space is going to hit. That would be cool to see a video like that, because it's like there's so many people there. You're bound to make a connection with one of those other Guardians. Okay, so we're going to move into PvP a little bit. We talked a little bit about next week's Iron Banner. But let's move into PvP just a little bit. And first off, I'm going to do a little bit of self-promotion on here. So I have been sort of the brainchild of this new thing that I am calling Simply Above Mediocre. And for everyone listening to this podcast right now who's part of Epic, feel free to join it. We're going to have it Sunday nights at 8:30 Central. I know it's a little early for some of the West Coast people, but it's a good compromise for most people. But we are bringing everyone in to a private match, and we're going to give sort of tips and tricks from people who've been playing a while. And for me personally, I'm roughly a 1.4 KD Guardian. So I think that I have a little bit of something to give to Guardians, to give to other Guardians who would like to get a little bit better. I know KD's not the end-all be-all stat, but that's what we're doing every Sunday night. And we have, I think, 18 people signed up right now. We're going to have 2 teachers. We're going to split them into 2 different groups, and we have a ton to talk about. And we're going to continue to roll through that. When Destiny 2 starts, we're going to pick up the new tips and tricks from there and sort of start gathering ideas. So if you would like to be part of that, if you're listening to this, there is a game on the 100 about that. And so I just think it's going to be fun, and we're going to do that indefinitely. So self-promotion over, guys.
Yeah, I participated in the first one. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the second one.
Might actually have to be awake for this one. Maybe go try it myself.
Well, we're going to, if you don't make it, I am making a video from my group. I'm just going to record the video and then do voiceover of what we talked about. We're also going to have the list of topics posted on a Google document. So even if you don't happen to make it, or maybe Sunday's not the best right now for you, we will still have that information posted out there. And honestly, I never thought I'd be doing this, but somebody mentioned on one of our Slack channels, hey, some of us new people would like to hear some from the other people. And I was like, well, I'll do it. But for PvP, is there anything that y'all guys have been playing this week for PvP, or anything new that you're looking at? Or I'll start with me. For example, I played a ton of Rift this week, and I know that it's one of the only like 6 game modes. But for whatever reason, the people I played with on Epic wanted to play Rift, and learned a lot about the Rift game type this week, and just how you have to have more than one person running for the goal. And I know that seems kind of self-explanatory, but every time we had somebody try to go in for a dunk by themselves, they died. Every time we had someone go in, at least one person, they hit it. So it was a very good learning experience for me for Rift. Anything in PvP y'all guys were doing this week?
I did a little bit of Rift myself. Most fun I've had, to be honest, with a 6-man. I think it's probably the first time I've played a full clan 6-man team, and it was great. I mean, the coordination, the teamwork was there, and like you're saying, I mean, we running blockers, everything was great. It was good.
Well, and one thing also, you play Destiny sort of the same way in PvP. I know, but for this specific game mode, if you did not move your behind out into the middle, the enemy team could easily trap you in your spawn. I played, I think, 3 games on Bannerfall in a row, because apparently they like that map. And twice we were just pushed in our spawn because no one, I say no one, we had like 2 or 3 people who were just kind of playing passively and not aggressive on that map. and so we're stuck in our spawn area. And then on the third game, me and one other person just said, "Hey, push out, go," and we spawn trap the other team. And so it's very good to do that on that specific game mode. But I just thought it was interesting that for whatever reason, Rift, because it was one of the game modes, was very heavily played by our clan mates this week.
I haven't done Rift in a while myself, but I've did a few games of Flash with a couple guys from the Epic chat last night. It was a pretty good time playing around with some guns that I haven't used before, trying to get used to using some stuff that's not, the Mida or a Palindrome or classic classic favorite guns for Rise of Iron.
Okay, so let's jump on that topic because I've been thinking about this lately too. Um, how important is the meta, and what specifically defines the meta?
I thought something about just being like the most used guns in the current environment for the most part, just kind of defining what the meta is. Um, Personally, I don't know. I don't think it makes a huge difference. It definitely helps. Like I noticed that I haven't had a bad game with the palindrome yet, but you know, you when you kind of get used to using certain guns and you get good with them, the changes that they make in multiplayer, I don't think really make enough of a difference to where it's going to affect you that much.
Well, for example, the reason I ask about the meta question is because Destiny Tracker defines Icebreaker as the meta, and technically, the Icebreaker is one of the most used guns for kills. And so, in that sense, it's definitely part of the meta because it circumvents the special ammo situation. It makes sure you pretty much always have a sniper shot, but it's still a horrible sniper based off of stats, based off of use. You can get used to it, but it has decent aim assist because of its range, but its aim assist is pretty negligible for a sniper of that class. It's what is it? Oh, its zoom is a little bit further than people want. Some of its stability and other stuff is a little bit lower. So I guess my thought is, can we call it the meta if it is a subpar weapon technically?
I think that kind of relates back to it being just a really highly used weapon. I hate using it myself. I hate that sniper rifle with a passion,
Oh,
but
I ignore it.
it just the sheer fact that you have special ammo pretty much at all times with it makes it kind of the go-to for snipers right now.
I don't know. I guess that's a just a philosophy style question. But go ahead. Someone was talking.
The special ammo nerf is, which has limited the shotgun game, has basically pushed people out to range a little bit more anyway. So snipers should be a little more prevalent, right? I mean, there's less going on at that close range. So you take that plus the regenerating ammo. There you go.
I guess a thought of that is, or my thought on that is, do you define the meta as the most used guns or technically the best guns? Because I've always thought about the meta as the best guns. But even though it's a subpar weapon, is it the best gun in the situation because it circumvents that ammo situation? I don't know. There's a lot of people on who I talk to who say they like that weapon. And I'm just sitting back there saying, I've got a hidden hand LDR that I will never part ways with. I can wait the extra 20, 25 seconds to pull ammo, but I guess that's just what people are using right now.
Well, in my experience with other competitive games, um, essentially, I mean, the meta in pretty much any game that you would even think of a meta being, you're not looking at the most used weapons, but it's the weapons that are statistically superior to all other weapons. I mean, I very often play League of Legends. It's a game I play a lot, and the meta shifts constantly. Like every couple of weeks, it's different every single time. And, it's based around champions that get buffed in certain ways that make them stronger than other champions of that same type or that same role. So when you think about for Destiny, if they tweak, where they did the special ammo to favor now, what was it, snipers and, pistols, then statistically speaking, your snipers and your pistols should theoretically be better than your shotguns. Statistically, not always the case. There's still uses for shotguns. There's still uses for other weapons. But if they've tweaked those things to be statistically better than everything else, that's usually what is meta defining. Is what is good, what is better than everything else, and what can you theoretically win with at a better percentage. Not saying that that's always the case. Sometimes it changes, and sometimes you have weapons that, and I've always felt personally that it doesn't matter if the weapon is statistically better. It's all down to the hands of the person wielding it. If the person wielding it is terrible, but it's like the best weapon in the game, the weapon's still bad. But you can give somebody who's really good at the game a very crappy weapon. They should still be able to win pretty well with that. And it's not until you get two people who are equally matched where weapon differences is going to start to matter. So, I mean, the meta is statistically what we want to define it as by the game code. But in all honesty, if everybody decided, hey, we like to still want to play with shotguns and, auto rifles or whatever it was before, I mean, you can still run that. It's kind of a mixture of both, but that's technically what most people would define the meta as.
Okay, well, so let's get into a little bit of a gray area with that. I guess that wasn't that funny. Anyways, so the meta is there, and the good philosophy is always use a gun you're comfortable with. How do you tell somebody, and if this is your favorite gun, I'm sorry, but how do you tell somebody to use an extremophile versus a palindrome? If they have an extremophile that they're using, and they're comfortable with it, and they're going up against people with the palindrome, is that just a play choice? Is that just you need to be comfortable and need to do well? How do you personally, or you guys personally, say to somebody, hey, that weapon may not be the best weapon to use, even at the same time if you're saying use what you're comfortable with? And I'm prefacing this with the fact that this is just a theoretical question. I'm not trying to push people away from their favorite guns. But how can you explain meta and say, hey, these are better, why are you using that weapon, but also use the gun you're good with, or use the gun you're comfortable with?
My adage has always been with this is every gun has their strengths. Hand cannons are good close range as well as shotguns are. Scout rifles, better at the longer range, mid to long range. Auto rifles, kind of a mixture of that close to mid range. But weapons use is based off of playstyle. Yeah, your palindrome may statistically be better than the extremophile, but if you aren't comfortable with getting in people's faces and really being in close quarters, then yeah, you might have a palindrome, but can you use it effectively? Everything has a specific purpose. You can't snipe with a shotgun. So you have to be comfortable getting in and getting in there in that person's face. So, I mean, it comes back to that personal preference. I really like using scout rifles. I'm okay with handguns or hand cannons, but scout rifles are where I kind of shine. I like to sit back, have more room to maneuver. You know, when you get in close, you don't have a room to, like, make a mistake. But at a longer distance, you've got more chances for cover. You've got, you know, some different areas you can play with, depending on the map, of course. But I think it just comes down to that play style. Is if you're comfortable getting in close, fine, go for the hand cannon. But if you don't like that, or don't play well with that, find something else that suits your play style. You know, everybody's different. Everybody has something a little different. I just think, you know, sometimes what is meta is not always the best choice for you. And I think that's what it boils down to, is what is your choice? How do you like to play? And you find something you like to play with. Something that fits your play style. And that's my advice. And that's what I've always played, like, competitive games with, is like something that I like to play.
Nice. Okay, so, you heard it here. That was some really very good advice. Use a weapon based off of playstyle. Now, it's not always the case because, personally, I still like to run a scout rifle, but I also like to get very, very close. And that's because I like to run Sunsinger and like to run those sticky nades, so I want to get up really close so I can make some people upset with the sticky nades. But it just depends on your game style. I don't know. For me, there's a very fine line between telling somebody their weapon is bad and also saying, hey, we want you to have fun in there. And, you know, so, I don't know. Anyways. I think, guys, that's about it for what we can talk about PvP right now. Next week we will get into a little bit of the Mayhem Clash and Iron Banner and all that stuff. Well, actually, guys, it looks like we're going to end the podcast after the PvP section, not just the PvP section. So I want to say thank you, Doc, and thank you, bnelly, for again being on here. And again, I want to say thank you to Gray Hoodie for jumping on here and just giving another voice from Epic their chance to talk a little bit. Do any of you guys have anything you want to plug on here? Anything at all?
Insert shameless plug here.
All right, well, if you won't do it, if you're listening to this and you are on the 100 and you are part of a Clan Epic, right now it's just kind of set to Clan Epic. I know that's not fair to everyone who's listening and not Clan Epic, but we're doing slightly above mediocre on Sunday night at 8:30. We're going to have some people streaming it. We're going to have people recording it. We're going to be posting videos, so if you aren't able to join that, you'll be able to see that. And so just keep an eye out on this channel right here, the Fat Guardians, for videos and stuff about that. Also, we are going to be starting a Radio Epic SoundCloud page. Now, and this is acbtheman, really enjoy people coming to this channel and watching these and everything because it helps me grow personally. But that is just me. And so I'm going to create a SoundCloud page and start posting these up on to a SoundCloud page specifically for Radio Epic so people can start to focus more on the clan and less on me as an individual. Yes, please come look at my channel. It's nice and it's awesome. But this specifically, Radio Epic, is not just me. And so it'll either be in the description down below of this one sometime later this week, or it will be in the description of Radio Epic number 6. But we are going to have a SoundCloud soon where we'll be posting the latest 2 episodes. So it'll just be 2 episodes, but hopefully that'll get it out and get the focus more on the clan stuff with specifically pertaining to Radio Epic.